To introduce myself to you, I am Ibugay. I'm a manager to Egalitarian himself. So we are welcoming everyone with full grace and respect. Why we are coming this time around for the production of this EP is mainly for the promotion of the unification of ourselves as Gambians, because we believe that music is more than just to sing and dance. Music can be a tool that can destroy as well as to remedy a situation. And we all know that as recently how the Gambia is moving on, there are a lot of issues that definitely needed to be addressed. But what is important for us as artists is basically the promotion of the unification amongst ourselves as people. When we use music to unite people, then that music is an exceptional music. And this is the kind of music that Egalitarian have been playing all his music career, with all his travel experience and all performance he ever had worldwide. All his promotion is to bring people together. That is where the word egalitarian came from. We must unite to be one piece in order for us to help change our environment and our lives as a people. So I will start to introduce the management of Fishu, uh, Ahmed Tijan, to introduce himself and his institution. Thank you very much.
I am Ahmed Tijan, the founder of Fizu Entertainment. Fizu Entertainment is a entertainment company and a management company as well. We manage multiple artists, and Egalitarian is one of the artists that we are currently managing.
The Return of the King's EP. Also the official launching of Egalitarian movement. The Return of the King EP is a three-song mixed and mastered by various music producers. Published on, and we will be published on Friday 28th to the general public and also into the digital platforms. The management of Egalitarian movement would like to also thank the entire team for coming, and also to discuss a way forward for Gambian music and a way forward for Gambian youth. My music is more of sending positive message, also encouraging government and also fighting governments to we encourage government to support the well-being of Gambian youth, African youth. We also fight government whenever they are reluctant to certain project that will empower the Gambian or the African youth. So this is egalitarian, and this EP, it's an introduction again. It's just a reminder of who egalitarian is, and at the same time also to open other doors to the future, to the new generation, because in our time, those and I'm quite sure some of you know of egalitarian. We have done a lot of good things in terms of music here and outside. I've did a couple of tours in the USA and in Europe, but all the tours that I did was based on what can we do to support the Gambia or the African youth. And this is my agenda. And once again, I thank you all for the opportunity. This is a great privilege for Egalitarian to have you all in front of me. You are doing a great job. You are pushing the music industry. You are sending information to those who didn't have access to. Now are getting access to the information that needs to be read. The King's EP, 3 songs, One is don't give up, because we all know we are in tough time in Africa and also in Gambia. We are saying to you, the Gambian youths, not to give up. There are brighter days, there are greater days coming ahead, because we are all trying to make sure that we brought in platforms that will house, platform that will enable the Gambian youth to showcase their talent, whether in music, in business, in innovation, you understand, in medicine. These are all opportunities that Egalitarian and its movement is trying to establish and trying to inject in the mindset of the Gambian government. So, and we'll take this opportunity also to call on the Gambian government to look into the project, the multi-million-dollar project that is presented to them. Let them come and let's discuss, because this is a great opportunity for Gambian youth. This agricultural project has the capacity to employ up to 90,000 youths in the Gambia, and could impact the country, could impact the youth, because we all know either one of us, one has lost a brother or a friend who was trying to cross the Mediterranean Sea, all because of lack of opportunity. And here we are on the ground. We've come with ideas. We've got the project that has financing, and still the government is reluctant in looking into those projects. So for the reason why Egalitarian has been silenced for 7 years is because I've devoted my time and energy in fighting to make sure this project is implemented. This way the Gambian youth will benefit from it. But for this past 7 years, we have been pushed back. We have been, neglected. The project has been backpedaling, and we felt it's really unfair, because most of those dignitaries or those executives, people in the government, whenever they're employed, the first thing they think of is to take their partners, to take their family out of the country. And for us, when we got the invitation, the okay from the Gambia government, we had to move back with our family to the Gambia. The reason why? Because we love the country, it's our country, it is only all us Gambian that can make this country a better country. So I call on all of you to really join hands, and let's fight not only for my project, but for project that is driven by Gambians. Because any project that is driven by Gambians will really have effect, or will really impact the communities surrounding it. But any project also that is driven by outsider, normally 90% of the cases are, we all see as the communities are always fighting, are always arguing because of lack of protection or mismanagement that is going around it. So we want to use this opportunity once again to thank you all for allowing us to be in front here to send our message across. So this King's EP is back, and we hope we all get the message right. Thank you all.
And that is so serious, because a youth represents a nation. And when you empower the youth, you empower a nation. But when you neglect a youth, you destroy a nation. And basically, this is what we are facing in this country. Our leaders, or our so-called leaders, are not in the position to help save the future of the youths of this country. This is why it is always shot. Every youth man you see here in this country, every day, everyone you pass by in the street, there is always no sense of hope in that person's face. You cannot even smile, because you cannot be happy when there is nothing on your way. And this is affecting our psychology as people. And as far as this is not changed, I don't see a future for our country. As far as Egalitarian is concerned, all his wish is to see that there is a change for the youth of this country. And this is why he came up with that project he just mentioned, that should have employed 90,000 youths. I think if we just get back to the government, the amount of youths the government itself did appointed, if it is more than that 90,000, it won't be like that big gap. So as a matured government and smart leaders, obviously for me, I believe with the presence of such an opportunity, they should have been definitely capitalized on this. to make sure that they have helped their own youthful population to have access to job, to have access to work, in order to help change the life of the people. Because there is no government that can change a nation. The government is only here to guide the development. The development is directly under our shoulders as the citizenry. So it's we who should strive for this. But without their support and their guidance, then that means we are not moving any step. So I will stop there meanwhile, and I will introduce the moderator himself, Kifa. Then he is the one who is going to moderate the rest of the entire program. Thank you all.
Mr. Ibugay and Egalitarian, and also the management of visual entertainment. As Ibugay just mentioned earlier when I was coming, he said things that has to do with youth empowerment in this country, which we are all looking for in different areas, in different capacity building. We all know that music is not only to sing, entertainment and dance, but also to make sure to educate people and also to create the avenue of employment so that youth can get engaged. So looking at other countries in the world, we all know Jamaica is because of Bob Marley. We all know, looking at the side of sports also, we all know Argentina because of Maradona, Pele because of Brazil, and Biri Biri because of Gambia. So I will just highlight few things briefly to say that Lamin Egalitarian, we all know that he's not only an artist, but he's also serving the community at large when it comes to as a humanitarian. For us, we have been with him for so long when we were very, very young. So as he said, there are a lot of projects on the table that the Fizzles is currently working with Lami, not only the EP project, that one is on the musical side, but also today we are launching the egalitarian movement, which is going to deal with youth empowerment, promote peace, justice, and rule for all, which is very important. And also I will just briefly wash away with some of the things that I said, because my colleagues I know putting their headlines there. We are not here for politics. We are not writing anything to empower the politicians. We are not politicians. We are not working at government. We are not receiving salaries at PMO. We are musicians. We are community youth leaders. We are doing it for the 2 million populations of the Gambia, whether you are from this party A or from your party B. So I will make it very, very clear that we are not campaigning for anything that is coming up for the Gambia, but for employment opportunities. So we should look at the music arena at large, that many people benefit in the music, not only the entertainers. You have the writers, the distributors. When it comes to royalties, how many people enjoy from those royalties? So we should all know this, especially the producers. So music, when we are doing music, we are not only doing music just for ambience. Ole, ole, you fete tas muneka bukara umuje. No, 999. Music is beyond that. We should look at Senegal. I think it's a sample very closer to us. So at the side of the music, we all know that we need a lot of things to be done in this country to make sure that artists are helped. Just look at Fizzles. They are very young people. Very young people. A very young level like this doing such a great, amazing work in this country. I think we should be looking at such important elements in this country. And when it comes to the youth that got talent, then we promoted them and support them with the muscles needed. So not only Fizzles, but there are many, many young Gambian talent that are doing it superb in this entertainment. So in the side of the egalitarian movement, as a member too, and also a member of the Fizzles, I will further say we are also working on things to see that youths are being given the opportunity when it comes to support them with their education. That is scholarships package. Because egalitarian is not only living in the Gambia, he's piloting throughout the world. He's making sure that he's engaging partners, stakeholders, philanthropists, to make sure that whatever he has from all those countries, he brings it back to the country. I know it, others know it. because we are all benefiting from that. We are not related to him when it comes to the DNA, but we are related to him when it comes to loving Gambia. And there is only one DNA that all of us should have, is by loving Gambia for the ever true. It is in our national anthem. So, and this is what I have seen in him. This is why I joined him, to make sure that whatever we are looking for the young people, we will all achieve it together. We are traveling, we are seeing the wider world. Go to countries very closer to Senegal. You see there are industries in all areas. We are not only talking about music, but all industrial areas, you see how organized these people are. Now African countries, they are even doing slapping competitions, and they are building houses, buying beautiful cars, doing a lot of things with that. But Gambia, why when we started doing certain things, we started criticizing? We are more good of criticizing than supporting each other. We need to be our own. We need to be like China. Sorry to mention them. Because of they do everything Chinese. They speak Chinese, they listen Chinese, they wear Chinese, they eat food of Chinese. Everything they do is Chinese. This is why they cannot be penetrated. And we have to be our own. This is what is disturbing us. Any Gambian that we see that they want to empower the youth, I think all of us, we need to support that person. This is not about, we have to put our political difference away. We have to put our different mindsets away. Then we come together and say that this is Gambia. Let's go for it. I could remember when we were pushing the project of the $290 million US, the biodiesel agricultural farm. How many youths will be employed? 90,000 Gambian youths will get employment. And the minimum salary rate for a laborer is $10,000. Where would you get that $10,000 even if you are working at the office of the president? So, then what about nguri duku duku, nguri kondane kabudu 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 kabudu. Gambia is very small. It's a very small country. I could remember if I travel to other countries, if I tell them I'm from the Gambia, they always ask me my population. If I tell them it's 2 million, they always ask me if your country is a region or a country. Because we are very small. Where will you drive a car for 6 hours? Other countries you drive a car for 9 hours. So I think it's high time for all of us to come together as Gambians. We put our difference. Not saying it as politically, not saying it against the government, not saying it to promote or to empower the politicians. No. But we are speaking the tongue of Gambia. As Gambiano, all of us should understand this language. And I am sending this message directly to the central government and also to the head of state, President Barrow, that now we need a U-turn. We need to change the system. And changing the system, change has to start. Everybody wants change, but who wants to change? This is the language of today. We want change, but who wants to change? And who wants to start the change? Why we are saying this? Because we have already made change to ourselves. We are doing it to our environment. We are occupying our environment. We are encouraging the people that are surrounding us, beginning from our family, from our friends, from our neighbors. He is young. He's not an old pal. He's still doing it. Since 2004, he's still doing it. How many awards he won? By then, he was part of the aura. We all remember the Poto Poto. He was the only Gambian there. More than 17 artists from different countries. He represented the Gambia. He brought trophies, awards to the Gambia. He supported the children. We all know that. He started it with SOS. Furthermore, he supported individual people. I am a witness to that. So such projects, if it is presented to the Gambia, I was looking for that the president will support it, and also the technocrats or the people surrounding him or the expertise, they will support those projects to make sure that we minimize the unemployment rate of youths in the country, which is lacking. We are not many. Looking at the Gambian population, we said 60% or 65%. Okay, the so-called data, I don't know the so-called logistics they said. But still now, where are we? We are still trying to struggle to the back way. Even now, Gambians, if they go to Bissau, they say Mangiba. We see it now. Everybody in the country is stressed. Looking at our faces is stressed. You will even look handsome or beautiful. When people look at you, you look ugly. Because of your stress. And if a country is being led in these situations, it means that we are going astray. Anything can happen. We should take example from other countries. Why can't we learn from Mauritius? Why can't we learn from Madagascar? Why can't we learn from Ghana? These are very small countries in the sub-region, especially Mauritius. If they tell you Mauritius is part of Africa, you won't believe it. And they are less than 2 to 3 million populations. They only have fish and cotton as their natural resources. But go to Mauritius today, you will think that you are in Asia. So why not the Gambia? We all have it. We don't need diamonds. We don't need gold. No. Only agriculture can take us there. That is no doubt about that. Only agriculture can take us there. Farming and fish farming. Everything. We all know that we have, I don't know whether we know it or not, we have the mackerel tuna in the country, which is the second most healthiest fish in the world. And this is what they took and produced sardines, cod liver oil, fish oil. These are things that I don't learn it from university. I have seen it. I have worked on board. I will work with the Chinese trawlers, work with the international maritime vessels. We know the resources we have at sea. How many things sushi? So why can't we grow rice? Why can't we grow cotton and other things? The nebedai, we all seen it, the moringa, which egalitarian just presented to the government. None of them will say that it was ignored. Many papers were signed. His family was brought from America. They were denied privileges. He was given the hope that everything is going to change. This is what we were looking for. This is what they told him. This is what they promised him. And at the end, what happens? He wasted his time, energy, resources, and also inviting stakeholders from those countries to make sure that they will participate in those official meetings. How much money you will spend on for their hotels, for their accommodations, for their money, for their tickets. We know how expensive tickets are, especially in US. He lost a lot of money. If I'm not mistaken, more than $3 to $5 million is only that engagement. And everybody is aware of that. If we are saying that we are inviting investors in this country, what kind of investors are we looking for? Nobody judge me wrong. This is the fact. And I am speaking this based on the launching of the egalitarian movement. And that movement is here to stay. Honestly, I will repeat, it's here to stay. It's only for the youth. We are not there for activism, to go out for protests. No, 999. We are not there for that. We are looking for job opportunities. We are looking for scholarships to bring it back home. They need it. So that's the job of the egalitarian movement. This is why we are launching it. And the Fizzles, they are in charge of the project of egalitarian music, especially this EP release, The Return of the King. So before going further, I will thank the management of Fizzles for doing a wonderful professional job, especially this project. They spent an amount huge of time, producers. It was mixed and mastered. Ahmed Tijan, I would say he's the youngest among the Gambian promoters. He has been doing so much work. For me, I'm a runaway event organizer and a promoter. He's the one that brings me back. I could remember in 2013, he started music very late, but now he's doing it like nobody's business. So I will say before I fall, I want all of us to round of applause for Ahmed Tijan first, the Fizzles Entertainment, for this wonderful job. And also another round of applause for the Return of the King, egalitarian for the Gambia. And thank you, everyone.
Yes, I'll seize this noble moment to welcome our esteemed guests and media. The management of Fizzle today will present the general public and fans in the music industry the official release of The Return of the King EP and launching of the egalitarian movement. The 3 songs mixed and mastered are already on YouTube and AudioMark, and the rest will be distributed on all music platforms latest next week. The Fizzle management is urging members of the media and stakeholders in this music to support this noble project. The management firm was established in 2018 and has successfully achieved its primary objective to promote the creative industry, both local and the international music arena. Upon all effort and hard work, we will continue to partner with all music stakeholders in order to support youths that get talent. The Fizzle management firm are young, experienced Gambians, event organizers, music promoters, digital marketers, producers, journalists with the background expertise in following areas. We call for your support and participation in our upcoming projects and other engagements in the industry. Thank you all for your kind participation and support for this project. I remain in service of the Gambian music industry. Thank you all.
Like those three songs about tutti when the one askan mi ne yow ñëwaat nga back in the music industry.
Turam no turam tur bi okay Gambia Talent Binta Badji bu Sume. Okay, for answer to that question, the three songs is just foga konkon so you do have name fonga konkon wa bi konkon la pour ñu ibul ñu bunta then ku ñëw gan su ñëwee su moo ñëw foog mu indi bagage waaw lii dugala rek su ñëwee ñu isi suñu bagage suñu gars yi ibilee bunta rek incha allah lii ñëw mooy gën a garaaw li teg nekk si table bi nii yes waaw na gars yi déglu ñetta yi rek njëkka su gars yi gëm naa ne su gars yi dégloo ñetta yi rek koom-koom bi dina foor waaye lii ñëw mooy gën a foor overdose.
Hello, Egalitarian. This is Empress Baji from Jollof Entertainment TV. My question is based on the movement. We have seen a lot of youth movement that has been initiated in the Gambia, but yet still the consistency is the problem. How are we sure that you guys are here to stay?
Again, the energy is right, and the energy also is right for this movement, because this is a fight we have been fighting for 7 years, and we have seen that if the fight does not continue, it will stop others from coming. So as long as we survive, as long as we live, this movement will continue, because the partners are there, the support is there, to make sure youths are getting the support they need from the movement. This is a movement to stay, and it's the movement, I believe it's going to be the unshakable movement in the Gambia, inshallah. Thank you.
Good evening, my name is Aleja from Gainako Online News. So this question is for the egalitarian.
Yes.
You mentioned a multi-million-dollar project. Can you please explain what the multi-million-dollar project is about? I'm interested.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Gainako. The multi-million-dollar project is a project that we've designed in the United States. When we were designing this project in the United States, it was during a conference, investment forum that I organized, and I invited few dignitaries from the Gambia government. Some of them who've attended this press conference and the CD release were still in the system here, knew about it. So it's an agricultural project that is based on moringa. Moringa, we all know, is never die. But in the United States or in the West, they use biodiesel to mix with diesel to cut down emission. Moy sahar bi. Because so you say legi suñ moto yi ngay daw ngay sahar because diesel bi la. Kena engine. But if it's mixed with biodiesel, dafa tax sahar bi daf ko dog to 40%. Moto bi su don sahar 100%, legi so mix lul with biodiesel, dafa cut down emission. It's like for health regulation, for climate change. So during our meetings, we had investors that says, we are interested in doing this project in the Gambia. Because in the United States, what they use is soybeans and corns. So it brought the price of corn for normal consumption at a higher rate. So they're saying that we're looking for another alternative where we can get our biodiesel without harming the consumption, normal consumption. So we came up with this idea of moringa. But we all know between one moringa to another moringa is 10 meters. So there's still land space there. What are we going to do with that empty space? We don't leave it hanging there. We have to intercrop. Intercrop meaning all the crops that we import, like the carrots, the tomatoes, the onions, some of these things that we eat, instead of importing them into the Gambia, we grow them here and export them out. So we designed this project and presented it to the Gambia government. It used to be 2 projects. One is waste to energy. So the government said, we are interested with the 2 projects, But let's start with waste to energy. Waste to energy is all the waste that there was a time that there was this movement that threw waste at the KMC Lord Mayor's door. If you can remember, there was at Yankuba Koli time. So because of there was too much waste, they don't know what to do with the waste. So when we were called, we met with the president, we met with NAWEC, and they told us if we could come up with a technology that will solve this issue. So we came up with this project, the waste to energy. The president and the Gambia government said they're interested. We went and signed the power purchase agreement. But before you can sign any contract with government, you have to pass through a due diligence. So the government said before we can pass through a due diligence, before you can sign this thing, we have to pass through a due diligence. If you're qualified, then we'll sign. So we have gone through that due diligence and we passed. But for an investor also to invest his or her $210 million in a country outside on a private investment will need some securities. So government said, okay, they will provide those securities. We said we went in and then signed the PPA and the concessional agreement with the Minister of Lands. Comfort letter was given from the Office of the President. Now what we needed was, we also got an approval from National Environment Agency. Now, but the concessional agreement gives power to the operational agreement. The constitution says it's only effective if we sign operational agreement with the councils. So at the councils level, that's where we had this problem. So it's been delayed for 3 years. So we now said, okay, let's go back to our old project, which is the Moringa biodiesel. Because for me, the Moringa biodiesel is of my interest because I've lost at least a nephew who was trying to cross the Mediterranean Sea to Europe, right? So we said the Moringa biodiesel, it has a job capacity of 90,000 employment. So when we say 90,000 are just people on the ground because the land allocated at Kiankarantaba is 30,000 hectares of land. Every hectare of land is 3 people. 3 divided by 30,000, that's 90,000 automatically in the field. So we are not talking of the drivers, the security, the admin. It's more than 90,000. But then if you're employing 90,000, you don't expect them to travel from Bara, Banjul, Basse to come every day. You have to set up a community. So the community means setting up a house for them, hospital, shopping center, and etc., etc., etc. So this was all presented to the government, and the project worth $335 million. As we speak today, I have in hand a credit facility of $535 million, which is given to me, not for Egalitarian, but for Gambia. That credit facility is for the 2 projects, Waste to Energy and the Moringa Biodiesel project. But for me now, my fight is the Moringa Biodiesel because of Gambian youths need to be empowered. Thank you. I hope I answered the question right.
Good afternoon. I am Mark Tumani from Korea newspaper. So I would like to know the return of the king. What does it entail? And also now that you have said that the government, is it that the government did not support this multi-million-dollar project? And still now, if they do not, what will you do? What's your next move? What next will you do?
Okay, the return of the king, it's, again, it's a knock to remind people who Egalitarian was in terms of music. You understand? So this is why we say the return of the king, because we have impacted a lot of people in the country and outside of the country. So it's just a form of knocking the doors that we are back in the music. When it comes to government, the reason why we are still here, the reason why the project is still pending is because of the government have not participated, have not shown interest at the later part. So if the government still does not want to do the project still stays for another government to come. But in the meantime, we want to use our egalitarian movement to empower the youths, because our mission and vision is to empower the Gambian youths and support the Gambian women through our music, through our connection. Because what we have is powerful, it's stronger than egalitarian. If it's the connection we have it's so past egalitarian. It's not a connection where I can get $10,000 and $500,000 and all. It's more than that. So all can go to the Gambian youths if it's well placed in its right platform. Thank you.
It's so good, hopeful, yet imagine why some fools do not even think about that for your chorus decay. So me incident, so you let me, you let me. Hey! And me see that tempting, see your hands in the air if you love what you see with me. Let me see that. Hey! Away sundown in the yard. Left hand and kick it out. Separation down in the yard. Left hand and kick it out. The hood, and the gates on your real. Don't let down ye, the gates on your real. Project them go, the gates on your door, I'm your game. Engage joy, engage joy, I'm your game. Separation down in the yard. Let's stand and kick it out. Separation down in the yard. Too much going on. 66 kids just gone dead. So many parents are crying dead. Negligence and the system is dead. We can't allow them to treat us bad. Boy, hey! Separation down in the yard. Let's start and kick it out. Down in a yard. Let's down and kick it out. Yes man, yes man, yes man, yes man. You know, Kong Kong, la Kong Kong, yeah? We'll organize it big and better. This is Kong Kong, huh? Tito, Morambeno, Tito, Tito, Morambeno, Tito, Tito, Morambeno, Tito, Tito, Morambeno, Tokuleatina nata bankoto, Oleatina Murundana, Tokuo, Oleatina the bankoto, hey, Oleatina Murundana, hey. Tito, Morambeno, Tito, Tito, Morambeno, Tito, Tito, Morambeno, hey, nigga, dinkendo si kan mooy dinkendo ana dinkendo si ah hey day digal
lii neex na